The first thing you need to understand is sending 1.4 million emails a day. That is not impressive. Doing it every day without replies turning into book calls, without inboxes being burned, that's the impressive thing. And I'm going to show you in this video step by step on how I personally manage 1.4 million emails sent per day without breaking. Let's get into this. This isn't about some secret tool. It's not about secret tricks or copy. And it's definitely not about warming harder type situation. I'm not going to make up some strategies that you never heard about before just to get some clicks and likes. It's about really just dialing in the simples and the basic foundations of cold email. So it's about volume, math, plus conversion systems, plus infrastructure discipline. So let's break down what I mean by this. The big misunderstanding about scale is most people think I need an insane reply rate to scale. Well, that's not true. And if you think like this, you're never going to manage 1.4 million emails a day. And I'll tell you why. You can only scale with high efficiency or high volume. The real unlock here is understanding how the volume compensates for efficiencies. Just for you to understand the theory and what I mean by this, I'm going to bring out some maths. And don't worry, super simple. It's not going to be complicated, but I'm just going to bring up a few scenarios. So basically what I mean by this is you either need to have higher volume or just higher efficiency, but best is when you combine both and then you do a lot of volume with a lot of efficiency. So for example, let's get the math out. Let's say you're sending cold email and you're not a god-tier operator like most people are. Scenario A, let's say decent at cold email. You get a 3% reply rate, 15% positive, and 25% of them. But let's say now you send 100K emails. That's going to be 3,000 replies. That's going to be 450 positive replies and roughly about 110 booked calls. That's really solid. Now let's zoom out. Let's say you're way worse than this. I really get like these numbers when I dial in, and especially the 3% like human response rate. People say 3% is low. They don't know what they're talking about. 3% human reply is really high. So 15% positive reply rates is decent. That's why I say this is sort of a decent result when you have your offer dialed in. Let's zoom out again in scenario B. Let's say you're just average. You get a 1% reply rate, human response rate I'm talking about, 10% positive reply rate, and 20% booking rate. So you're going to get the same 110 calls, but you need to send 550,000 emails. Still very, very doable. But let's say scenario C, you absolutely suck at cold email. And I know I've been there as well, and sometimes I get campaigns that perform even worse than this, but there's nothing you can do except move on and test some more. So let's say you get a 0.7% reply rate, then get an 8% positive reply rate, and then a 20% booking rate. So to get the same amount of 110 calls, you need roughly about 1.4 million emails. And that's not theory, that's just basically the daily math. Volume is not the enemy, the lack of system is. So if you cannot manage to send large quantity of cold emails, yet you still want to have large amount of bookings, you're never going to succeed. And even if you're sending 1.4 million emails a day and you get this shit results, if you book 110 calls a day, you're still making an insane ROI. So that's what I mean. You don't need to hit the fancy 3% reply rates every time. You can operate with these numbers. You can operate as a, quote unquote, but most of the industry call as, terrible results. But you can still book a shit ton of calls and get a lot of results just by doing more volume. So why the 1.4 million per day works for me? Because I don't rely on one inbox type, one campaign, one angle, one market, and then one role reply flow. And also, by the way, one sequencer. I'll explain why as well. So everything is distributed. The 3 things you need before you can even think about scaling up your volume. So don't come to me and saying, hey, Sabo, I only have 5,000 companies in my niche. So that's massive problem number 1. TAM, so total accessible market. You cannot send 1.4 million emails a day if your entire market is 80K people. That's kind of tough pill to swallow, but you just need to go back to the drawing board. And if you want to do this amount of volume, you need to pick something that has a lot more people, right? So rough rule, about 200K monthly sends, you need 600K TAM. 1 million monthly sends, you need a 3 million TAM. 1 million a day sends, multi-million TAM with several avatars. This is why this works best in big industries that have lots of cash flow. For example, SaaS, tech services, fintech, healthcare, real estate, B2B infrastructure, agencies also could work. PE portfolios, finance, right? So small niche, high volume means you're going to burn your list. So you need to have a large TAM. So you can either go adjacent or you can scale up vertically. So for example, if you're targeting agencies, you can move up the ladder and target enterprises. If you operate in, for example, SaaS, that's your target, then you can also, move adjacent and target software companies. You can target custom software companies. You can target maybe fintech companies, right? If it fits, right? Anything related to technology, you could target if your, offer allows for it. Second thing to keep in mind, message market fit converts replies into calls. So the reply rate alone is a vanity metric. So that's why I say, you don't need to just worry about these percentiles, because a lot of people just jerk themselves off to like, hey, I got 5% reply rate, but that doesn't actually matter if you're not actually getting the results that you want. So it's important to keep in mind the KPIs always, and not just, go chase that another shiny object and chase another 5 to 10% reply rate, because that doesn't really matter. You need people that want to buy to reply to you. If you don't, you're not going to book calls, you're not going to close deals. If people reply but don't book, you're going to leak money. Most campaigns fail because their call to action is unclear, angle attracts curiosity but not intent, replies aren't handled properly, or worst yet, the message does not even have any type of relevance for the actual people you're targeting. So I've seen people target restaurants with lead gen offers. Like, come on, what are you doing? At scale, every reply is routed. Common replies get auto-drafted responses, proof injected, soft booking nudges, calendar handoffs. No hope they book. Replies are processed, not admired. In order to manage this amount of volume, you need to have a proper system in place. Positioning that justifies the volume. So if you position just as, and I'm just going to talk about cold email here in this example, is if you position yourself as, hey, we do cold email, you're dead. You're dead at scale. You're dead at any type of scale. At volume, you need to be positioned as pipeline infrastructure. Again, these are just examples. Revenue system install, risk reduction, growth lever. Because again, you don't want to sell the system, you want to sell the result. Volume amplifies your positioning. If they think about you as a lead gen bro, well, you're going to be treated as such. But if you're treated as, a C-level partner that helps them advise and books them meetings that are worth potentially millions of dollars, then you're going to be obviously treated a lot better than the other lead gen bro who's, flooding their emails. All right, next point to keep in mind, how the 1.4 million emails are actually being sent, because I know you're curious. There's no magic to this. I'm using similar tech to what most of you guys are doing and a similar infrastructure as well. But there are some key differentiations I need you to understand. The inbox mix is consistent of Outlook, Google, private SMTP, and leveraged SMTP. So for Outlook, that's really right now the best ROI at scale. Google is the best at deliverability still, but it costs the most. Private SMTP is a leverage whore, so you can basically flood the market with it and then get a ton of volume for it. It's decent, right? It's decent, it's cheap, it's very easy to test with. Although a lot of things can go wrong if you don't know what you're doing. And then finally, we have the leveraged infrastructure, which I talk a lot about nowadays, because I think that's going to be the big strategy going into 2026, which is basically think about like the transactional systems. For example, you get a message from PayPal. PayPal has to make sure that the email they send goes through you and it hits your inbox. So what they do is, I'm just going to dummy down everything. So they use a transactional email system to actually wire the email to your inbox, making sure it lands where it's supposed to be, and it doesn't go into spam. So this is what you're leveraging. By what I mean is leverage the infrastructure. You leverage something called AWS SaaS. Google has their own systems. I'm just mentioning the Amazon one. Microsoft has their Azure system as well. SendGrid is also one of them. There's a whole bunch of them you can leverage. Point is, you leverage a regular private SMTP, and then on top of it, you just leverage the system to just give you extra deliverability boost. That's what I think will really hit it in 2026. But right now, the best ROI is still definitely, and it's going to be for a while, Outlook. I would just advise you to do as much as possible while you still can. So if you're watching this, if you want to get inboxes from Outlook, we have right now a Christmas sale for 50% off. So if you want to get yourself some inboxes for Christmas time, there you go, 50% off. For right now, while I'm recording this video, it's going to be live for about 20 days. Depends on when you watch it. And we're going to have soon Google inboxes as well. So if you're interested in that, you can also pick those up as well. We can also have the private SMTP suite and the leveraged SMTP, but that's coming in January. So just for campaign structure, going back to the emails, dozens of parallel campaigns. Each campaign is tied to one avatar, one angle, one problem. What most people do, and I think why most people actually fail, is because they have one or two campaigns with like 50 different variations because they think they're sleek, they think they're smart. And I've done this before. I'm not one here to make, judgments, but this never works. And the reason it doesn't work, even if you put 50K leads into one single campaign, and then you put 50 little variations, one copy that you wrote that is probably good, probably the best version, you write 49 different angles to that, it's going to be trash by the end of it, right? Like by the time you get to the 49, the fifth variation of the same copy that you written different variations for is going to be trash. It's not even really going to resemble the copy that you wanted to write. You can easily tell, okay, 3 to 5 I can choose that are probably the best. And that's what I recommend. Just choose 3 to 5 versions of the copy per avatar, per angle, per problem, and that's it. That's really it. Don't do anything more. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out, and the campaign is going to be going down in quality. Burn cycles and constant rotation. What I mean by this is just don't burn your emails out. If you do, just put them on email warm-up protocol and constant rotation of new and fresh inboxes. So nothing runs forever. Keep this in mind. Everything is replaceable in cold email. Once I had, I think 1,000 tenants go down. That's 500,000 in email sends per day. That shit. But you can replace it, and you just have to move on. Lists, hyper segmented, verified, rotated every 60 to 90 days. Never recycle blindly. And the one thing about volume is you can recycle again the same leads every 60, 90 days, or even shorter in some aspects. Some niches work a lot better if you space it out a little bit longer, but some niches, they really don't care because they get flooded with emails, and you can just send them another brand new email, same inbox, 30 days out. It's nothing too complicated. Bad list scale faster than bad copy. So just got to keep that in mind always. Why this doesn't collapse? It's because it's not one system. It's many small systems stacked together, and it can fail without stopping the machine. That's the difference between I sent 1.4 million emails once and versus I send 1.4 million emails every day. Again, just be diversified. If you're only running Outlooks, if you're only running Google, if you're only running private SMTP, if that goes down for whatever reason, then all of your stuff is cooked. You cannot send any more emails. And this is probably the most common thing I see everyone doing right now, is just they go into one thing, which is mostly at this moment Outlook because of the ROI, but they don't diversify, which, right now is fine. But sometimes you could have your stuff go down due to you burning the domains and sending, and everything could break. That's what I recommend. And by the way, if you don't want to pay thousands of dollars per sequencers, what I do is generally I test on Plus Vibe. If the copy works, if everything works, the angle offer works, I move that over to the private sequencer and then scale from there. So if you don't have a private sequencer, we're probably going to release our sequencer that we use in collaboration with a partner of mine in January as well. So keep a lookout for that. And finally, just a little truth bomb. Most people try to optimize before they scale. That is backwards. You don't want to do that. That makes no sense. Scale what actually works. Always. If something gets a 0.1% response rate. If you scale that up, it's not going to be any better, because most likely if you're scaling something that's good, 3% reply rate, at scale, it's not going to be 3%. It's going to be like 1.5, 1.3, but it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse because that's just how it is. That's just due to volume. Scale what already works and let volume expose the leaks. Fix the leaks and then scale again. That's how you can end up at large numbers that sound actually insane, but feel boring once you get it running. Because it's really boring. It's the same thing you need to do over and over again. Get new fresh lists, manage the inboxes, rotate the inboxes. And that's it. That's it. That's really it. There's no real difference between 500,000 emails a day, 1.5 million emails a day, 3 million emails a day, except just doing more of these same things that I just mentioned. Hopefully, I gave you some clearance and gave you some advice in this video that you can take back. And hopefully, just even if you're just sending like 10K a day right now, maybe I just given you something to go off of to scale to like 100K emails a day, something like this. Just a little bit of boost, a little bit of push. Good luck out there. And if you need any help, just message me on Discord.